In this second method to measure the coefficient of friction, we're doing it pretty directly. Basically, a block will slip when the ratio of the horizontal force pulling it along over the vertical force pushing it against the slope is equal to the coefficient of friction. I mean, that's where the coefficient of friction comes from. The normal force times the coefficient of friction gives the horizontal slipping force. We've just rearranged that to say coefficient of friction is horizontal force over normal force. Now, firstly, you need to measure the mass of that block. And then we're going to increase its mass by piling a few more masses on top of it. And I'll get to it, another 100 grams worth there. And maybe another 100 grams there. Start with a reasonable amount of mass on that block. And you can change that value as we go. Now, so the total vertical force acting downwards is the mass of the block plus all of those masses, m of the block plus m of the masses, all of that added together, total mass times g acting downwards opposes the normal force. To provide a horizontal force, we'll simply use another mass carrier, hang it on the end there, and then keep loading up with masses. I'll just move that there a little bit so I can reach down to here. And what I need to find is how much mass I need to load on here, being very careful not to jar it too much. I'm basically taking the weight of the bob and then easing it back down each time until I find a point where the block is just slipping. Now that's slipping with the mass carrier is 50, 100, 150, 200 grams is causing slippage. To get a slightly better measure there, I'm now going to take the 50 gram off that I've added there, and then I'll add a 25 gram one and see if that causes slipping. No, we're still okay. And then I can go down to adding 5 gram masses until I find to the nearest 5 grams what the mass is that will cause it to slip. Perhaps just one more. Getting very close. Whoops, there she goes. So, all I have there now is the coefficient of friction in this case is the ratio of this mass, which gives the horizontal force, mg, horizontally, that mass, over the total mass of the block, that. The ratio, essentially, of this total mass over the total mass of that gives me the coefficient of friction. Again, a very simple and easy measurement to do. Takes a little bit more time than the last one. There's a little bit more care needed to load these masses. But we'll get you to take 10 relatively quick measurements, changing the amount of mass here each time so that you can get a slightly different value there. And look at those ratios, get 10 measurements of the coefficient of friction with this method. Statistically analyse it, we'll work out the average value and the standard deviation of those values to compare it to our other method.